Log recording. It's 4:51 in the morning. It's May 22nd, 2023. Yeah, we were John C. Roseman, California. Hell, I'm not even alive or awake yet this morning. Yeah, I was coming across some of the social medias, and I was also trying to get the Spectrum system up and running again. Apparently, they were having all the issues yesterday. I think because of the storms we've been having across the Southland, you know, I mean, north to south with the electricals going on. Holy crap. Managed to capture just a little bit of it. That's about it. Everything else, different places lighting things up left and right. I was even talking to a friend of mine. She was up in Cal City. She was telling me about how she could see the lightning and thunder from her trailer about 20 or 30 miles away, and she's seeing this electrical activity happening. It's freaking her out. Yeah, I know how she feels about that one. Managed to get a little bit of her tape on the thing, and we'll just post it out there eventually when I get it going. Then I can actually do something about it. Meanwhile, the politics this morning is getting to me left and right. I'm starting to agree with a guy named Artist out in Connecticut. He's got he's got something going. How about this one? I switched on YouTube right now, and I'm seeing the Axiom Space Mission 2 going to be docking with the ISS anytime now. And apparently we've got the videos concerning about the spaceship coming closer and closer to the that little capsule. If you're a space enthusiast, this is something to deal with. Meanwhile, I'm not trying to deal with that one. I'm still trying to deal with the political nightmare in about less than a week and a half. And my question to myself: what the hell am I going to do when I can't pay rent? If we go into default, am I automatically going to be able to get my disability still? Because that's the only damn thing that's paying the rent right now. I haven't got any backup. There's no backup. I spent about $550. That's not even covering the rent situation. I barely get enough to pay for rent. It's about a third to nearly half. And I also got to deal with the power, Edison. It's a good thing I'm an energy saver on that one. Spectrum, and they're charging arm and a leg and raising it up. Oh yeah, July 1st the rent goes up. But that's separate. Well, maybe not so much. Phone is still standard right now. And I still got to change the plan to a cheaper one. What I'm using it for. It's just basically for communications. Just keeping the damn thing on. Oh yeah, and legal bills I still got to charge. I mean, it's about 5.5 to nearly 6. And then there's got to be some money to eat on. Oh yeah, a few subscriptions here and there probably cost about $40 or $50. I always have to do this. I mean, in my head, it's about 600 without the rent. With the rent, I'm talking about basically, yeah, that much. And I'm left only so much to eat on for the rest of the month. SNAP doesn't give me enough because of how much disability is. The thing is concerning about the SNAP programs out here, they're based off of how much you got for the income. Whether or not you're going to be fitting into one particular tier or another level, another level. And if you're making too damn much, you're getting this much of SNAP. Seems only fair, right? For some people. Well, we had the COVID nightmare going on. We actually had money coming in for SNAP to help pay and to keep us fed. I used the money for bulk all the time. That extended because every time there was an increase on the SNAP, I was already buying bulk stuff through like Amazon. Get the fresher stuff at the local markets when I can through the deliveries, and it'd help out with that. But now they got me back down to the regular level, which is like, so now I got to survive. And I know it's not fair. I say that to myself. It's not fair on some occasions, and on other occasions it's really not fair. But what the hell am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to manage with what I've got. That's the thing. I'm totally dependent upon government income at this point over here. Going out there looking for work at a 57-year-old with a broken ass body and a broken ass mind is going to be rather difficult at this point. I mean, shit, I damn near killed myself in different jobs. And one job damn near took my life out having a tire fall on my damn face. So, yeah, it brings out a hell of a lot of stuff that I didn't even want to deal with, but I'm dealing with it. I would probably think every single morning, it's not fair I'm like this. No, I wake up in the morning and I have to deal with that. But then again, I also had to deal with the mental anguish of losing family members left and right, being isolated from people left and right. You know, it does it to a one person. They tell me I should get out more. I should get out more. Huh? I get out more. I got people coming on my ass all the damn time. So what am I supposed to do about it? People probably think, well, you live comfortably enough. Look at your stuff. Yeah, it's all broken down. Pieces of junk. How about that one? All broken down. I got hand-me-downs. Not exactly the clothing, but I still got to get clothing taken care of. I got hand-me-downs from every damn generation I've got from my family. Furniture, dishes, cookware. Cookware is expensive. Even when I worked in retail, if you still have money, cookware was expensive. Stainless steels, anodized, aluminum, cast iron. Not to mention knife sets out there that you still need to get sharpened every so often. Why, it's so damn dull, it's not even funny. And you still have to make do with some of them anyway. No, I was never good at keeping knives sharp. I got a knife set I still got to get replaced. It's about $300 or $400 mail order thing. I still got to find out where the hell I can find this thing, and then I'll probably find out it's about $500 or $600. Something I'm really not going to be able to afford. So I'll have to go to supermarkets or thrift stores looking for a sharp knife set. It's the only way to save money these days. And it's always so nice to hear the United States government system really to assist people by ready to kick our asses out of the house. If they go default, then everything else goes hell in a handbasket. Aren't we fun? This is a typical Monday morning, what we got right now, boys and girls. But listening about the next week coming up with everything else going drop kicking, we're really not ready for this crap. That's for sure. You know, people tried to use the SNAP benefits a long time ago just for fruits and vegetables, and then they tried to get the grains in the milk, survival food. I remember living off of food stamps growing up as a kid. I know what it's like to live on government subsidy. It's not the easiest damn thing in the world. And I also know what it was like to depend upon my own skill sets to keep a paycheck coming into a household, to feed three people and a few dogs and try to keep a roof over their head, plus keeping bills paid. Oh, yeah, the glory days of that. Well, I no longer have them. I also know what it was like as a kid growing up and living on food stamps. I mean, literally pieces of paper that clerks would have to stamp on, run through the system, and put them in the drawers and have people behind having conniption fits because they came shopping at the wrong time of the month actually. In the beginning of the month when you actually got your food stamps from the places, and you would literally would have to go to these places. They're hidden. Of course, they had to have them hidden. They were dealing with state dollars and food stamps. USDA agricultural food stamps. Pieces of paper that you had to sign out for, that you were responsible for, that you were not going to get another monthly allotment. You had to make these damn things count. You had to make menu options like crazy. You had to make sure that at the beginning of the month you knew exactly what the hell you were going to be getting because that month, that week, even that day, you were at the supermarket. And the clerks would have a conniption fit over this one. I know, because I'd seen too many clerks having that kind of a conniption fit. The food stamps were accessible to places that actually sold, well, milk, butter, eggs, places that would actually give out food. Well, actually sell you food. I'm not just talking about Dorito chips either. I mean, that's cash basis, not food stamps. But they could be used as part of a food stamp situation because they were also still considered food. But the food stamps, you had to have authorized users for those. My brother, when he was with us before him graduating, you know, he was with me all the time, and we'd go to these food stamp places, these nondescript places, and then there was paperwork to fill out, verify that you got these family members. You got family members in these damn things, and sometimes you had single men or single women coming in there. They park up and down the damn street when they get the stuff to get the hell out of there. It was embarrassing as hell going over to the to the GR offices. GR offices would do the paperwork processing and whatever kind of things that people needed to take care of. And you started to get to know who your agent was. They started to get to know you and your family. It got that bad. My mother was also trying to take care of her grandmother and Aunt May. So we had, well, I couldn't say sufficient enough, but we barely had enough to take care of two elderly ladies, two boys, the mother, the head of the house, not to mention the family pets. The family pets had to be taken care of by cash. But we discovered that we could still stretch the food dollar if we actually used some food items to feed the dogs. Other than that, we'd be feeding them canned dog food and bag dog food. We'd get a small cash allotment, and we'd be able to take care of that. Not to mention rent. Bills had to be paid. I'll tell you something. Going into a store and seeing your family cringe like crazy. Oosh. We go over to the Checkers. We'd already have maybe one or two basket full of groceries. I remember this as a kid, 10 to 12 years old, out in Arleta, going over to the local Vons. We'd have the broken down battle wagon of a station wagon. A long story on that monster from hell. And we'd fill up the back end with a lot of bags. They had to last us for barely a month. We had two refrigerators. We were lucky enough in the household that we stored the primary stuff in the front, and then everything surplus was going in the back. Not to mention every other damn nook and cranny that didn't actually have any problems with bugs or mice or rats or anything else like that. Thank God. But it was. Oish. I remember there been times my brother had to do shopping with me and driving the car without breaking the damn thing down. And he was authorized to use the food stamps. What the food stamps were was the denominations of 1, 5, 10, and 20. There were no 50s, there were no 100s, and you were paid in these denominations. You have a stack of, well, depending on how much you were allotted, that was your stack in the book. Ma had signed the book out, so her signature was on there for verification. My brother's signature had to be on there. And we went over to stores when we moved from one neighborhood to another neighborhood. Vaughn's had a problem with us because the people didn't like GR people. Vaughn's just processed it because they knew people were on GR. Not many of them, but there were people in the area who were on GR. Rest of them worked, all retired. And Ma was taking home care of the ladies. She was a caregiver, licensed by the state during that time. I tell you, it got to a point where even my brother and I were still using the food stamps when we moved from one neighborhood to another neighborhood, from Arleta over to Granada Hills, and then we had to deal with the Vons over there. And we dealt with the same type of people over there. Not to mention over at Gemco. That was fun. My brother and I would be doing the shopping over there. He'd toss stuff to me, I'd catch him, I'd put him in the cart. I learned a long time ago, glass and eggs break. We had to be careful on those kind of breakables, but everything else was open season. Scared the hell out of my mother sometimes when she shopped with us because she saw this happening. Young kids growing up, tossing the food around, that's how we learned about glass and breakables. Clean up in aisle 1, clean up in dairy. My brother and I was like, we weren't there! We weren't. Somebody else did the damn stuff. But no, we saw the stigma. We saw the stigma from those people. And we saw the people being pissed off about it because you know how much, let's see, back then in the late 70s, it was costing about $200 or $300 worth of groceries. That's basically nearly all our stamps on some occasions. If we had a little bit left, we had to stretch the thing out left and right and had to rely on cash, but sparingly. Gas, we had to go places sparingly. We barely afforded fast food during those days. But going into a line and you see people giving the disgusted look, oh my God, what the hell have they got there now? Oh no, it's not them again. Yes, it's them again. Weren't they here last month? Yeah, and they're here again. Oh man, I gotta process these checks. How we doing today? Oh, I'm doing fine. And how's your kids? How many things have they broken so far? Nothing? Oh, that's good. Our manager will be pleased on that one. Okay, David, roll it over here. We roll into two baskets. We started putting them on the conveyor belts. The cashiers would ring them up. Uh, Cash or food stamps? And then we hear the groans. People in the back behind us. Come on, hurry up. We gotta get out of here. You gotta be kidding me. We're opening up another register in about a minute. I ain't got a minute. Get him out of here. Toss him out of there. And I've heard a few like that. People did not like people in GR because they didn't want to wait because of the processing. We're lucky these days we got the plastic card to use. Swipe it through a machine, no problem. We get in and out. You plug in your PIN number, you got your transaction. Simple. After the ladies died, one by one, Ma realized she had to go back into work again. There had been different places that we had known that actually dealt with food stamps, and people were a lot more congenial than that one. There was a meat market on Laurel Canyon. Same, actually, it was Lancashire, actually. Same place near the GR office. We get our meat there. We were living in North Hollywood, and actually, Ma was working in North Hollywood until we took care of the ladies, and that's where we went on GR. Ma couldn't work full time and take care of the ladies at the same time. I had to learn to work. Work was all the time. I knew what it was like from several experiences, first several experiences of getting a paycheck, and then how to tear apart the money into chunks. So one side would get paid, and the other side I'd probably save if I was lucky enough. As a kid, I had to learn that the hard way. Growing up as a teenager to an adult, yeah, you really had to learn how to do balancing acts. Got to a point where I actually was making money in one particular job for about 4 years. I actually got a bank account. Jointly, but also my own private savings. I discovered how fast the damn thing could be used up. If I didn't keep it replenished, well, then I'm in trouble. I knew the value of work. I knew the value of paying the bills. I also knew the value of paying the damn rent every single month. My mother was a good teacher on this one here. My job with her and the company she was working with as a teenager, I learned the ropes the hard way on that one. Learned you don't piss off the owner of the company. I also learned that under the table, you still had to separate the green to pay rent. And Ma was teaching me that one. Especially when I was also working at a summer youth employment program as a teenager in my 17? Yeah, 16 or 17. And when I got my first paycheck and I was able to cash the thing, part of that money had to go for rent. Everything else was mine. Ma and I made a deal. We made a pact on that one. A legal agreement on that. So we had a contract. I had to own up to it. Ma says this is the way the world works. I agreed with her on that. So when I started getting other part-time jobs and still trying to pay rent, I still had to save money to do the things I needed to take care of, like saving money for college. Literally on that. And when I couldn't do college anymore, I had to work full time. And then I really had to learn how to balance the budget on that one. Spiff checks I'd get were like extra commission checks at a particular company I worked for, Circuit City. The regular the regular hourly would go to the family and the bills and stuff. The spiff checks would be like 30 or 40 or $50. I'd get that every 2 weeks if I made good sales. Piss off the sales counselors. I'd make money for myself. If that, I'd had to take a 10% out of my paycheck for me. Everything else had to go for everything else. But I had to. I had to pay for the rent. I had to pay for bills. I had to pay for food. So yeah, I know what it was like to live on hard work. And then after, when you can no longer do the hard work anymore and you get broken down both mentally and physically, you have to depend back on the government assistance again. Embarrassing, humiliating, but that's how it is. That's how it is. Would I have preferred working full time still? If I hadn't been nailed by a tire at a company, the company still would have got rid of me anyway. Walmart was notorious for that, especially inside politics. Yeah, there was politics in the companies these days. You don't play ball with the management gets rid of your ass one way or another. I kept discovering that the hard way these days. It just pissed me off so many damn times. I don't know what the hell I was supposed to be doing anymore in those companies. But after Walmart, the back couldn't deal with it. Neither could the body, and the brain was still broken down. I mean, hell, I had to deal with possible potential eviction, dealing with mama dying, dealing with a broken down brother. Real fun days. Applying for Social Security and GR. I had to get it. I had to get that stuff after unemployment was gone, after workers' comp was gone, and then you're stuck with the pitiful bureaucratic mess of GR. My mother had to deal with it. It was my turn to deal with it. While looking for work, I had to live on it. I did that even before Walmart came up. Right after I lost a customer service job. Corporate mergers. You gotta hate those sons of bitches. I really do. They get rid of you in batches and waves, curtailing costs. That really pissed me off. Okay, unemployment. Then I had to go through a GR. First time, and that was embarrassing as hell. Going to every single month or 2 or 3 months turn in the damn paperwork. Didn't trust the mail system, so you had to bring the paperwork in personally. Gets worse is when you start knowing the people by name, and they know you by name. As long as you treated them nice and fairly, and you didn't snarl or snap at them, they'd remember you, so you'd get better service that way. Right after Walmart, I had to go back to them that second time and go through the damn bureaucracy, paperwork. God, I hated the damn paperwork. You wait there, go through the intake, you give them all the information necessary, you fill out the huge stack of paperwork. And wait and wait and wait. I mean, it was like an all-day operation. I mean, you get there at the opening of the office, which is like 8 o'clock in the morning. Your bladder's ready to blow off. Oh, that's fun. I mean, that's so I gotta do a video on that one. I think I will.